Welcome to Quiz Gentry, your history quiz channel to all things maritime. From construction to voyages, sinking, scrapping, or wreck, each quiz will challenge your knowledge of maritime history. Today, let's test our knowledge of the RMS Mauretania World War I career with 25 fascinating questions and just 8 seconds to answer each. But before we begin, we ask that you consider subscribing to the channel, hit the bell to stay updated with our quizzes testing your knowledge of iconic vessels. Now, let's dive in to see how well you know about RMS Mauretania's First World War service. Okay, friends, we hop into the very first question, and it says, what was Mauretania's First World War I role? Was it transport, hospital, or barracks? Transport it was. RMS Mauretania was initially used as a troop transport. It carried soldiers during World War I. 2. What was Mauretania's wartime nickname? We have Magnificent in the option, so is Atlantic Fox and Sea Phantom. What do you say? Magnificent. Due to her speed, gray camouflage, rich warm wood paneling, and other details, she earned the nickname the Magnificent during World War I. Question 3 says, when was Mauretania first requisitioned? Was it in 1914, 1916, or 1915? 1915 is correct. The British government requisitioned Mauretania in May 1915. This marked her entry into wartime service. This one here should be simple. It says, where did Mauretania serve troops first? Gallipoli, Egypt, or Dardanelles? Yes, it was in Gallipoli. The ship transported troops to the Gallipoli campaign in 1915. This was one of its first wartime missions. 5. What color was Mauretania painted? White, gray, or black? Gray. Mauretania was painted gray for camouflage. This helped it blend in during wartime operations. Tell us, which ship escorted Mauretania? Do you think it was the Warspite, Furious, or Inflexible? You are correct if you said Inflexible. HMS Inflexible escorted Mauretania on troop transport missions. This added protection during the ship's wartime journeys. 7. When was Mauretania converted to hospital? 1916, 1915, or 1917? 1915. The ship became a hospital ship in 1915. It was used to evacuate wounded soldiers. 8. How many troops could it carry at once? The figures are 8,000, 6,000, or 5,000. 6,000. Mauretania could carry 6,000 troops during World War I. This large capacity made it highly effective. This here says, what was Mauretania's wartime speed? 24 knots, 25 knots, or 23 knots? What's your guess? "24 knots. The ship maintained a speed of 24 knots. This made it faster than most wartime threats. Question 10. Which year did Mauretania return to Cunard? 1920, 1919, or 1921? 1919. Mauretania returned to Cunard in 1919. It resumed passenger operations after the war. This is a tricky one, and it says, what was Mauretania's troop nickname? HMS Tuberose, Great Racer, or Speedy Ghost? Correct, it's HMS Tuberose. The RMS Mauretania was known as HMS Tuberose by the Admiralty during World War I while it was being used as a troop ship. The Mauretania's name was never changed by Cunard. 12. Where did Mauretania transport troops in 1916? Middle East, Western Front, or East Africa? Middle East. Mauretania transported soldiers to the Middle East. This was a significant part of its wartime service. 13. How many times did it cross the Atlantic in World War I? 53, 57, or 59? '57. The ship made 57 Atlantic crossings during the war. These voyages were crucial for transporting troops and supplies. 14. What weapon was installed on Mauretania? Your options are cannons, torpedoes, and depth charges. Yes, it's cannons. Defensive cannons were installed on Mauretania. These provided protection during its wartime role. 15. Who commanded Mauretania in World War I? Captain Owen, Captain John, or Captain Jones? Captain John? Captain John Pritchard commanded the ship during much of World War I. His leadership was instrumental in its success. 16. What was Mauretania's main duty in 1918? You have hospital, troop ship, or ammunition to choose. Troop ship it was. By 1918, Mauretania's main duty was troop transport. It carried soldiers across the Atlantic. 17. Where was Mauretania refitted in World War I? Liverpool, Belfast, or Southampton? Southampton. Mauretania was refitted at Southampton. This ensured it met wartime requirements. 18. How was Mauretania protected in World War I? Escorts, speed, or armor? Speed. Its exceptional speed protected it from U-boats. Few enemy ships could catch up with it. 19. What flag did Mauretania fly in World War I? Red ensign, white ensign, or blue ensign? White ensign. During wartime, Mauretania flew the white ensign. This indicated its role in military service. Question 20. What campaign did it support in 1915? Gallipoli, Verdun, or Somme? Gallipoli. The ship supported the Gallipoli campaign in 1915. It transported troops and supplies to the battlefield. 21. What fuel powered Mauretania? Coal, oil, or diesel? Coal. Mauretania used coal to power its steam turbines. This fuel choice was standard for the era. 22. What replaced Mauretania's luxury cabins? Wards. Troops' bunks or cargo holds? Troops' bunks. Luxury cabins were replaced with troop bunks. This allowed the ship to accommodate more soldiers. 23. What was its greatest strength in World War I? Speed, size, or weaponry? Speed. Mauretania's greatest strength was its speed. This made it an effective and reliable troop transport. 24. Which army used Mauretania most? British, French, or American? British. The British Army used Mauretania extensively. It was a key asset for transporting soldiers. The last question, friends. What year ended her World War I service? 1918, 1919, or 1920? 1919. Mauretania's World War I service ended in 1919. It then returned to civilian duties. Thank you for watching, friends. See you in the next quiz. Bye-bye.